friends, it's Kody from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Thursday, December 14th, 2023. Kody Brown's new husband, David, makes his debut on Sister Wives this weekend on the tell-all, and Kody has apparently some opinions about why Kody says what she says about him, because he believes that the only reason anyone would ever want to date her is if she trash talks her ex-husband to make him appear like a bad guy, because women only leave bad guys, and if a woman leaves a good man, that means she's not trustworthy. Kody Brown lives in a world of conspiracy theories and delusions, so his rationalization here, right on par. So in the new clip that came out and was posted by People magazine, Kody Brown and David discuss the situation. Now, David is super calm, super respectable. Kody has a look of absolute love and smittenness in her eyes, and David appears to be far more rational than Kody. And, you know, really that's not super hard. Kody is about as rational as a person that runs around the block with a tinfoil hat on. You know, the types that conspiracy theorists. Okay, so Kody Brown is revealing some details. David is responding to some allegations, and Kody doesn't seem to get that David doesn't have this twisted logic that Kody does. Shocking, I know. So what I think is kind of weird, though, is Kody, he's like, David Woolley. Like, dude, why are you already doxing his last name? Not that it matters, but I've just never heard him actually say anyone's last name, ever. Like, does he ever say Nathan Diltz? Very rarely. Do you ever hear him say Brian Colwell? Not really. Sometimes, maybe. Does he ever say Preston Jessup for Robyn's ex-husband? No. You know, it's just a strange ad by Kody. So let's dive into the topic of David wins, Kody loses. Before you do, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, and make sure to click on the bell so you never miss a video. As you saw in the very beginning, David says that Kody likes to be heard. Kody is a kind of man that's a little bit different than him, not his style, not his approach. David seems a little bit more soft-spoken than Kody. Kody is definitely a raging narcissist. And Kody then said that Kody needs to trash talk him. And then after this, the next thing happened. It's amazing to me that Kody can listen to Suki say, no, David doesn't think like that. Kody's like, I'm not a bad man. I'm a good man. Yeah, okay. And she's all, no, that's not what he thinks about you. He just understands that your marriage didn't work out. Like, you both have moved on. Everyone's happy. Life goes on. And Kody's all, yeah, but I did mine better because I vetted Robyn harder. So I'm trying to imagine Robyn and Kody being vetted, like Robyn being vetted by Kody. Is Kody pulling up Truthfinder and putting in Robyn Sullivan, Robyn Merrick, Robyn Jessup, because she had like 3 last names? Is he checking her credit report? Is he calling up people in Montana? Is he pulling divorce records? I mean, to me, it seems like he didn't vet her, because a rational man, just going to put this out there, that has 3 wives and 13 kids, and had a wife, Kody, just declared bankruptcy, another wife, Kody, on food stamps, and he and Mary had declared bankruptcy, and Janella declared bankruptcy, and he decided to take on Robyn, who was bringing $30,000 of debt in credit cards that she racked up while she was married to David, where she was shopping behind his back and buying clothing and sticking it in a shed, and then on the show was telling everyone that she took the debt on because she just wanted to be the peacemaker. So was he pulling up her credit to see, this is actually what happened? Here's all the credit cards that I own. Is he calling up David to get David's side of the story? He wants people to think that he looked at Robyn at a different way, and that his view of Robyn was that David Jessup, or Preston Jessup, was a bad man. Which, what does that have to do with David? All it's trying to do is make him seem better than David, puff up his ego so that he can say that I'm not a bad man, and then put Robyn and Christine in a comparison. Who's always putting them against each other, Christine or Kody? Seems like Kody.
Because I had to.
Did you just hear Kody refer to Robyn as that? He's all, I needed to understand who Robyn was married to, so I knew that she didn't leave a good man. And I had to know that before I got involved with that. With her. He's like, with that. It's like she's an object. And I know some of you will be like, that's a reach, but that jarred me when he said that. Like that. I had to know before I got involved with that. Robyn, you're a that. It's like when a parent calls a child an it. You know what I mean? And he switches from that to when Suki reveals that he can still be a good man with Christine leaving. And then Kody's all, well, Suki, she needs to stop telling the kids that I am a bad man. So now she needs to tell David I'm a bad man, and then she needs to stop telling my kids I'm a bad man. But the kids were not a part of this conversation. They were talking about David, and Kody's just adding in this because he's losing the argument with Suki, and so he needs to add another reason or goalpost shift for why he is mad at Christine or why Christine and him are fighting. So, here's what I think about Kody and his kids. His kids have a lifetime of knowledge of how he acts to them. They have a lifetime of experience of whether or not they trust him, think he's a good person. And they certainly don't need a mother telling them, your dad's not a good person. For them to see with their own eyes what their experience was. He has one daughter with Christine that loves him. And then he's got other kids that are like on the fence with him. And he's saying she needs to stop telling my kids that I'm a bad man. I'm pretty sure that Peyton and Gwendolyn and all of them have said they love him. They just don't like his behavior, or they felt like he neglected them, or that he wasn't around as much. McKelty said she didn't have a good relationship with him when she was a little girl. Kody was volatile and never around. He didn't like Christine, so he punished her kids. He didn't go to Isabel's surgery. He doesn't pay child support. There's a million things that we could point to. He's never going to forgive her until Christine tells the kids he's not a bad man. So now we know that Kody will never forgive Christine. So continuing on, because we'll never know, because even if she were to tell her kids that, he would find another reason to be mad at her. Kody vetted Robyn, and that's probably why Robyn had to talk a bunch of crap about her ex-husband and had to do that stupid purity speech and basically accuse her ex-husband of SA, and is probably why she's accused her ex-husband of DV when there's nothing to substantiate or prove the claims of DV. No police reports, nothing in the divorce decree, and even the adoption doesn't even specify any levels of abuse towards the kids at all. Or her. Just some terse words between the two of them.
It's not even about that.
Good.
He's not judging David, but then he says, I hope she's picking well, because I don't know him. He has a lot of suspicions, and he has a lot of theories about people, but he never actually gets the point of view from the person that he has these suspicion and theories about. I think Kody plays a lot of games in his head and creates a lot of scenarios and narratives about situations to justify his massively blown up ego. And he's trying to find a way to make himself feel better in front of the world while his ego has been blown to smithereens and all of these people are moving on and their lives are looking phenomenal. And then I don't know what that whole thing of my life has been public for years. Well, yes, Kody, it has been public for years. And for years, we've witnessed that you are kind of an asshat and you are sort of unstable and off your rocker. And even your daughter on her Patreon this week said you need help. And I'm not against anyone getting help. I don't think Kody is a treatable kind of person. I think there's something deeply flawed in his humanity that is not fixable, and I think he's resistant to therapy. I mean, every time they've done therapy, he's been like, I don't want to change. It's not my fault. It's their fault. So he has suspicions about David. He hopes that Christine is vetting him well, or that David's vetting her well. And then, you know, I kind of forgot about this, but Kody said, I want her to stop talking badly about me to the kids. And then that had me thinking, does that mean that Robyn is at home all day just talking trash about her ex-husband to the kids? Is that what they're doing? Is he projecting his experience with Robyn on what he and Robyn have been doing to Preston onto David and Christine? I mean, we don't know anything about David, really. We're going to get to know him on the show. We know that he's a widower. We know that he has 8 kids. We know that some of those kids are still at home with him. We also know that some of the kids are adults. We know that he has grandchildren. We know that his first wife died by suicide. I mean, we know that he owned a construction company, and I mean, he was in the LDS. As far as I can tell, David was never involved in polygamy. That's what Christine says. And so he's never been involved in a criminal way of life. He's never been arrested. He's never been as scummy as Kody. So I'm pretty sure it's an upgrade. That's just my opinion right off my assumptions and the information that's out there in the public. Ooh, that was harsh, but it was delivered so gently that most people, or some people, might even not realize how harsh that was. Because she wants to know, do you have empathy for him, right? And he's like, yeah, I get it. It's hard to have a lot of people around. I mean, he had 8 kids, right? And his wife died in 2012, and a lot of his kids then were underage. He only had a few that were adults at that point. And he just didn't meet Christine until 2022. He was single for the most part for 10 years. When he introduced himself on Instagram into the public, he had said that he lost his wife and that he had never had a serious relationship. He had dated women, but nothing serious. He'd never met anyone that was the one in that time until he met Christine. And during the period that he wasn't with anyone, he was raising his kids as a single dad that lost his wife. So clearly, Christine probably sees in David that he's an involved father, has children that are present in his life. He's got kids and a daughter that praise him. There's one of his daughters, Katie, one of his oldest daughters. She has a TikTok, and she talks a lot about her mom, and she speaks about mental health awareness and getting help and her experience of losing her mom. She speaks about how her dad has been a rock for her since her mom's passing. And it's clear that David doesn't have to say, I'm a good man. He just did life, right? If you have someone that's constantly telling you something like, I'm a good person, kind of like when Robyn's like, I'm empathetic. Sometimes I feel like that's a way to like tell people you're a good person, not that you are a good person, right? You want to say I'm a good person instead of being a good person. Words are cheap. Words mean nothing without action. And it's clear that he understands, and I'm assuming by this point, this was filmed in July, so at this point, David has had a chance to meet Christine's kids. He's living with Truly. He's becoming a father figure to Truly at this point, and he knows firsthand that Kody didn't put his kids first because he was out chasing tail, and then he found a woman that didn't want him to see anyone else and wanted him to be with her all the time, and was turning Kody into a monogamist because she didn't want to share. And on the show, pretending like she wanted to be in plural marriage and playing this part of being a good sister wife when she really wasn't a good sister wife. I think Christine said it best, that, and I don't know if it was in an interview or if it was I think it was in an interview, and she said that she just wishes that when Kody and Robyn got together that they just would have been honest. And they would have just said, hey, We just want to be together. We don't want to do this family anymore. We aren't really sure if this is what we're going to do anymore. Uh, it's been great. Let's just part ways and figure this out so we all can be amicable. Instead of this stringing all of these other women along and kids and breaking everyone's heart. I went back and watched season 14. Kody has been talking about leaving polygamy since season 14. So if he's surprised the women left when he was making comments about if you don't like it, you can leave back in season 14. And even Robyn said that back in season 14. I just want you to listen to this.
The day you decide you don't want to be family, you got to have an asset that you can sell as you move on. We buy you out. I mean, I'm just being realistic here, you guys.
And I've seen this so many times in plural families where a wife, it's not working for her anymore. She's ready to move on. I don't want to trap anybody here, and I don't want to be trapped here. But I think we all should have the right and freedom to leave, even Kody.
My problem is I don't want to write anything down there because I don't give a anymore. I don't enjoy the relationship anymore because it feels like a constant fight. I am in the depths of frustration. I am in polygamy hell. Because we don't respect
Those are
each
like
other's.
2 clips from 2 different episodes. But if you go back and watch all of season 14, you will find comments like this by Kody about his family, about polygamy, about how he doesn't believe in polygamy anymore. He doesn't think it's fair. He doesn't like breaking women's hearts. He's tired of having to do everything. He's sick of the struggle. Everyone's hearts are broken. And it's clear because he'll talk about one wife being so heartbroken. And I'm like, okay, Robyn, right? Because by this point, you know that the only person he's really talking to and confiding in is Robyn. And he doesn't want to do polygamy anymore. He's practically pushing them out the door. And he's moping and he's irritated and he doesn't want to talk about the family. So for him to have a hissy fit now and play the victim and act like he should be surprised that these women left, go back and watch season 14. I don't care if the show is fake. I don't care if they script things. I don't care if any of that. I actually felt like once they had to start filming themselves during COVID, that's when things got real and the women stopped lying and to protect him. Kody is spending all of this time trashing David, trashing Christine, trashing Janelle, trashing Mary, and he only has himself to blame. Robyn is blaming Christine for everything, upset and confused that they've all left. She was there when all of this was filmed. She even said in season 14, I don't want to be trapped here. No one else should be trapped here. If they want to leave, they can leave. So if they've left, then shouldn't you guys be happy? David is correct. Kody just did not make a priority of his children. He chased tails. Robyn wanted to be the only wife or the head wife and didn't want him to spend time with anyone else. And they just strung people along because of their greed and their desire to grift and make money on this show. They could have just been honest, but how would they have funded their lifestyles? Because the money certainly wasn't going to Janelle, and it definitely wasn't going to Christine, because Christine had to fundraise to pay for Isabel's surgery. He didn't pay for any of that, and he wasn't paying any of their rents. Once they got their house and they bought the house that they have now, those two went off the deep end. And they really hunkered down into their life. And they really they deserve each other, as Christine says. So what are your thoughts about Kody trashing Christine and David bringing back the truth? Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye, guys.